Let's just jump right in. Picture this, a vast, totally untamed wilderness. A solitary early human is huddled in a freezing cave, desperately striking flint together, just trying to spark a tiny fire against the pitch black. Okay, now, fast forward. Cut to right now. Our world is literally glowing with the high-tech brilliance of a global digital network. I mean, that transformation is nothing short of a miracle, right? So in today's Explainer, we're going to trace that exact journey. We're looking at the greatest educational and motivational story ever told, our own. We'll explore exactly how we got from that very first spark in a dark cave to the hyper-connected digital world we live in today.
So it really begs the ultimate question: where do we come from and where are we going? Understanding our past isn't just about memorizing a bunch of dusty historical dates. It's actually a mirror. It reflects our future. Every massive leap forward, every stumble, every triumph of our ancestors, it all holds the exact blueprint we need to navigate the totally uncharted territories ahead of us. To make sense of all this, here's our epic roadmap. We're going to hit 4 main stops: 100,000 years ago with the hunter-gatherers, then 10,000 years ago for the farming boom, the 18th century for industry, and finally the 21st century with AI. Through every single one of these eras, you'll see how the human spirit has just continuously adapted to overcome some really intense existential challenges. All right, so part 1, the rise and struggle of early humans. Just imagine waking up every single day where your one and only job is finding food and, well, avoiding becoming food. It was brutal. We only survived by forming these tight-knit little groups, constantly being on the move and relying completely on each other in an incredibly hostile environment.
Now, what's really fascinating about our earliest survival toolkit is, well, obviously we hunted and gathered. We had to. But the real game changers? Language and shared imagination. Language meant we could actually coordinate these complex, dangerous hunts. But our ability to believe in shared myths, to have common goals, that was literally the very first thread that bound society together. It allowed complete strangers to cooperate in ways that no other species on Earth could pull off. Now, for tens of thousands of years, nomadic wandering was our only way of life, just constantly chasing the next meal. But then a dramatic, completely life-altering pivot happens. We stopped chasing wild herds. We stopped foraging for seasonal plants. Instead, we finally figured out how to tame the earth and establish permanent, stable agricultural routes. In this agricultural revolution, it triggered an absolute massive domino effect. Step 1, we achieved food security by domesticating plants and animals, so that daily terrifying threat of starvation finally started to fade. Step 2, this reliable surplus caused human populations to just explode. And step 3, because of that rapid growth, those wandering tribes had to settle down, which laid the very first foundations for villages and eventually massive cities. Which brings us to part 3, religion, culture, and empires. Because think about it, as populations ballooned from small bands of maybe a few dozen people into cities of thousands, things got complicated. You simply cannot run a sprawling city the same way you run a small hunter-gatherer tribe. Massive human societies required completely new, highly complex structures just to keep from falling apart. So, how did we actually structure civilization? Well, belief systems united vast, incredibly diverse populations under shared moral codes. Meanwhile, formal empires and strict laws stepped in to create necessary political order. But here's the beautiful part. Beyond merely surviving, we actually began to thrive. Art, literature, culture, these all emerged, giving human life a much deeper, richer meaning. We finally started asking why, instead of just how to survive. And it was exactly that spirit of asking why that propelled us right into Part 4, Science and the Industrial Revolution. Look, if the agricultural revolution changed where we lived, the Industrial Revolution fundamentally changed how we lived. This was an explosive, chaotic era of technological innovation that accelerated human progress at a speed never before seen in the history of the planet. Let's map out that industrial impact, because it directly built the world we recognize today. It all kicked off with raw scientific discoveries and inventions. Think the steam engine. That breakthrough immediately unlocked mass production and completely revolutionized global trade. Goods that used to take months to make by hand, boom, produced in hours. This totally transformed everyday lifestyles, moving millions of people off rural farms and packing them into these new, bustling, industrialized urban centers. Now, the immense wealth and massive societal shifts from that era laid the direct groundwork for the pillars of modern society. To keep this complex new machine running, we suddenly needed a highly educated workforce. Hence, the importance of universal education. We also saw monumental advancements in healthcare. I mean, we literally doubled human life expectancy. Doubled it. And of course, we saw the rapid, unstoppable integration of technology into every single facet of our daily routines. Okay, that brings us right up to the present day and into part 5, future direction, focusing on technology and challenges. We are now living in this incredibly fast-paced, highly integrated digital reality. We're stepping into a really high-stakes world defined by artificial intelligence, groundbreaking biotechnology, and global digital networks that instantly connect billions of us. So the crucial point here is understanding this delicate balance between future opportunities and future challenges. On the one hand, the opportunities are just mind-blowing, right? We've got AIs solving unbelievably complex medical problems, biotech that could literally eradicate ancient diseases, and digital networking putting the entire sum of human knowledge right in our pockets. But on the flip side, we face some massive hurdles. We're talking severe job displacement from automation, terrifying privacy risks, and looming environmental crises. These are the dual realities of our rapid advancement, and we have to collectively navigate them. Which really leads us to perhaps the most vital question of the modern age. How will we preserve our human values and ethics? You know, with machines thinking faster than us and algorithms silently shaping our daily choices, the ultimate test isn't whether we can invent even more powerful technology. No, the real test is whether we have the moral fortitude and the ethical frameworks to use that technology responsibly, without losing our humanity in the process. To wrap up this incredible explainer, I want to leave you with this really powerful quote from our material. The journey of humanity is a continuous journey of change. The past teaches us, the present shapes us, and the future challenges us. From that very first caveman's fire to the glowing screens of AI, our entire story is one of relentless adaptation. Now, the baton is in our hands. It's up to us to actively build a responsible, sustainable, and bright society for the generations coming after us. History proves, time and time again, that we have the power to adapt to literally anything. So the only question left for you is, what kind of future will you choose to build? Think about it. If you found this explainer helpful in connecting the dots of our shared human history, please make sure to subscribe, like, and share my channel. Doing that helps me bring more of this clear, focused knowledge straight to you. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.